Good afternoon. Sorry for the delay. Streamlabs has decided that it wanted to update right when I needed it without a warning. Some 83 files. So that's very nice of them. So I hope you can hear me and see me. So if you can, please let me know. Doesn't look as if it's working at the moment because I have launched all right, I don't know what's going on here. I am sorry. Here we go. As if it's working at the moment. Right. I have launched. I've just refreshed. Please sign in if you can on the chat. Just let me know you can see and hear everything. And then we can get cracking. Thank you very much, Ian and Trevor and Stephen. Appreciate that. And I hope you saw a little glimpse into what we're going to be doing at the end of seasons. As you can see, the scorelines are coming up in English League One. This is how we work it. Liverpool did get the lead earlier on. I didn't play that one, but would have profited. English League One, these standings turn live. That's how I picked out those 3 draws. Now, the Cheltenham, they got the equaliser, all contingent on them winning. If they won, or if they scored the winning goal, Cambridge would have to react. But if Cheltenham lose, Cambridge can get away with a 0-0, as they did today. The other one, we're looking at Lincoln City, trying desperately to get into the playoff places. A win against Portsmouth would have got that for them. Laying the draw, it's a neutral play. And guess who scored? Pompey. So that scuppered that. But if you're laying the draw, you make a profit that way. So that's what we're going to be doing at the end of the season. So we'll be picking up on some of these as the seasons progress. Hi, Paul. Thank you very much for the update there. Appreciate that. So let's have a look. Already Augsburg have scored first against Werder Bremen in what is a tough match to unpack. That one. I'm just going to pick up my odds on favourites now. So let's get rid of a few of these. Bayern Munich scoring first against Frankfurt in what you know is a pre-Champions League match for them. Normally they're at the most vulnerable away from home. It really paid off, didn't it? That win for Heidenheim. And the Augsburg goal has been disallowed. Bayern Munich just not going to research. They're probably assured of a Champions League place, particularly if they get to the final, of course. So you don't know what you're going to get with Bayern Munich pre-Champions League, as Heidenheim amply showed. Augsburg, very strong favs today, just had that goal disallowed. Leipzig and Dortmund is a derby-style match. Bayer Leverkusen, well, you can get Xavi Alonso's mum up front. They don't need to win anymore. They're the title hold. They're the champions. They are pre-Europe as well. I think they got through against West Ham, didn't they? Over 2 legs. So they're doing very well in Europe. Stuttgart still have a little bit to play for, trying to get a Champions League place. So this is no gimme, but Bayer Leverkusen probably aiming for an unbeaten season. They got that late equaliser against Dortmund last week. Lecce odds-on favourite today. Lazio against Verona odds-on fabs. And you'll see the research has changed. It's more AI-based coming to the end of the season. I don't think it's worth my while looking at the statistical data when needs or context takes precedence over season-long stats. As you can see with those 3 late later draws in English League One. Well, already Girona doing the job against Las Palmas, whose season is pretty much over. They'll be absolutely delighted to be staying up. Got a couple of evens. I'll put them down as odds-on favourites. They are at home, so well worth monitoring. And we're just picking up our odds-on favourites, as you know. Vaduz, Turkish Super League. Fenerbahce against Besiktas, derby-style match, that one as well. So I'll keep an eye on the goals as they come in. And we'll be turning our attention to tennis soon. I've got tons and tons of tennis writings to share with you. Hopefully you'll find them useful. I'm not going to proofread or anything like that. I'll just pass them on so you can have a good read of them. I was going to try to package them in a manual, but I don't know enough about tennis compared to football in that regard. But I know there's one or two of you do enjoy your tennis, and April to September is the key part of the year for tennis trading. And you can apply DRT or FTP principles to tennis as well. Just treat the sets like goals. ATP rankings, treat them as kind of league positions. And just simplify the whole method and you'll be okay. So I'm just working my way down, picking up odds on favourites. Dinamo Zagreb, Hajduk Split, the usuals in the Croatian HNL1 League. Czech Republic. Where's the top flight? Oh, come on, behave. Oh, come on. What are you doing? I didn't ask you. Thank you. So we'll just keep working our way through. Tons of Czech football today. I don't think the top flight are in action, but we'll find out in the in-play stats feed. Danish, no Danish top flight football today, so that's okay. English Championship, Bristol City. I don't think this is the last match of the last day of the season. I can double check. Let's just have a quick check of that, because we've got a specific technique for the last days of the season. And it would have been nice for some teams. Although, let's just change that to Championship, just to confirm. So 2 or 3 matches left this season. There's still, I think, enough to warrant a look at the live standings. But I'll collect the odds on favourites initially. The important thing with the live standings is really ideally to have them up throughout the session. And then you'll be able to see the need for teams to react. And if you can create some time pressure, ideally, of course, 85th minute onwards, like we've just done, we just saw those 2 late goals, didn't we? Albeit to sides who didn't need to win. But still the pressure. If one side's itching for a goal, they're all up the other end, get caught on the break, we can still capture that profit. So that's what we'll be doing. Championship with 2 or 3 matches remaining there. There's English League 1 done and dusted. English League 2. Just going to make sure we know how many matches remain in English League 2. So let's have a look. Normally, end of the season, of course, they'll all be playing at the same time. So let's get English League 2. Oh, this is the internet. Look, it's not reacting. Come on. Slower than Teddy Sheringham, this. Let's have a look at just one of these matches. Work out how long is left. 1 match. Right. Must be last day of the season, English League 2. So that's going to be excellent. We can solve this puzzle together at 3 o'clock. Standings. That's all you need at this end of the season. There's going to be some dead rubbers. We've got to make sure we do not get involved with dead rubbers. And if you don't know the terminology, dead rubbers, it's just quite simply neither side needs to win or season over. So English League 2, that's going to be exciting. Last match of the season. Must be. They're all on the same number of matches played. So that's going to be fascinating to look at. And we'll dissect this. HJK Helsinki got a good win midweek. Possibility of laying the late draw here. I think they got a late winner. Oh, no, they didn't. It was 3-3, wasn't it, against HJK midweek. 55th minute equaliser. Possibility of laying the late draw here if you fancied it, okay? I'll still continue to pick up my odds on favourites, but do turn your attention to Haka and HJK. Try to look to lay that draw at 1.25 and lower. HJK Helsinki likely to be there or thereabouts in the title push. French Ligue 2. I bet you didn't know I could speak French. Let's check French Ligue 2. Is it the last match of the season? Saint-Etienne getting a win earlier on. Ligue 2. We've got to be prepared at this stage of the season. It's a completely different methodology we're using now. It's basically needs must, trying to create that pressure for these sides that they must get a result. I don't think that's the whole French Ligue 2 league playing, so that gives us a hint that it's not season over yet for French Ligue 2. Indeed, there's 4 matches left this season or thereabouts, so plenty of action still remaining in French Ligue 2. Saint-Etienne, excellent side. Pity I didn't get those late goals last match, 85th minute plus. They are putting in a bit of a charge now, Saint-Etienne. Used to be in French Ligue 1, but now in French Ligue 2. Schalke and Dusseldorf at 7:30, that one. So we're not going to be involved with that one just yet. No goals coming in, so you're not missing anything. I'm just going to continue picking up odds on favourites, working our way down. Kifisias, well, newly promoted side, 1.45 means Giannina must be awful. That's about what that sums up. Kifisias not had the best of seasons. Folos, I think, newly promoted as well against Panathinaikos. This is split into the championship and promotion groups, like a lot of leagues are, including Scotland, I believe, as well. Maccabi Tel Aviv, odds on favourite away from home, as is typical. This is the relegation group. Any odds on favourites there? No. Italian Serie B. We just want to. I don't think it'll be end of the season for Italian Serie B because they're not kicking off at the same time. That's a clue. Okay. Cittadella, odds on. Palermo, odds on. Well, all the odds on favourites that earlier on are winning. So let's go through K next. Wonder if we have any Norwegian football today when we get to N. Mexico, Moldova, Montenegro, Morocco, Nigeria. Norwegian Elite Serie and Bodo Glimt. First real tester for them, although they did play Molde last match. Another tester for Bodo Glimt, just to gauge their strength this season against a decent enough Rosenborg. I'll just put Stabæk in. They're just on the cusp of being evens, and they're dropping in price as well. What's next? Panama. Won't be playing Panama today. Ekstraklasa, Slack Wroclaw. So it's English League 2 that's going to really show you or highlight how we play end of season matches. It can be very exciting. The ideal, as I keep saying, is to wait, try to create some pressure for these sides time-wise so that they must get a result. It's not an if, it's a must. Maritimo are a goal down. That could be a possible play second half if they don't get an equaliser before then. So that's, I'll just stop off and make sure I've got the stats for that. And Dortmund have scored first against Leipzig, which isn't any great surprise. Portugal second, there we go, Paul's spot on. Portuguese second, Maritimo, not lost in last 11, losing 0-1 to Firenze. Great minds think alike, Paul. Indeed, you've spotted that, and so have I. I think we've got a 15-minute break, so hopefully we'll be okay. We can investigate that. The first thing to look at, as ever, is to make sure that Maritimo are turning up. I think Paul's already looked into this. So we're going down to Portugal. And this is something that soccerscanner.net could use. Just simple, isn't it? Alphabetical order. It just makes life a lot easier, doesn't it? It's an unconvincing start from Maritimo. 1.4 pre-match, 2 shots on 3 off 2 corners. Looks a very tight match, doesn't it? We can investigate whether Firenze need points as well. But we've got half time. We've got 15 minutes, so I can continue to collect my odds on favourites here. So a good spot from Paul. Hopefully we'll survive until half-time. 15 minutes to have a look at that match now if it remains 0-1. Got to look at the Firenze. As you know, you can't discount these 16th place sides. at this stage of the season, even against big guns. Odds-on favourite big guns. Ask Peterborough. They've been shot down in flames. Ask Liverpool. Consistently 1.5 favourites recently. Shot down in flames consistently, as they were today. No odds-ons really apart from Queen's Park, but likely we're lacking liquidity in the Scottish Championship, which is a real pity. So I won't be doing Scotland. What's next? Turkey probably next. Spanish Secunda is a bit further up. So that's confirmation at half-time. It's Maritimo 0, Firenze 1. So why don't you head off, Portuguese Segunda League, soccerstats.com. Have a look at the research. See what you can spot. The in-play stats are suggesting it's a very tight match. So it's difficult to discount Firenze at this stage. We've already got an equaliser for Leipzig in what is, for me, another one of those derby-style matches. You saw the result, Everton against Liverpool. Would you have seen a 2-0 there? That's what you get when you play derby-style matches. Can be difficult matches to unpack. There's your confirmation there. I think we're done. Don't think there's any V's or W's. That's where my sister was born, Mufalira. There we go. In Zambia. Don't have any Kitwe United where I was born. Kabwe. But Mufalira, postponed, alas. Okay. So now we've got all of these sorted out. We can put all of these into the My Games facility here. And we're ready. Leipzig goal is VAR, but derby-style match, very difficult to unpack. And don't forget at this stage of the season, or this weekend, it's a pre-European club competition weekend. So we're going to get some surprises, some underperformances. Just make sure you know who's involved. So soccerway.com will help you in this regard. You've got the calendar. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. Next Wednesday, Real Madrid, Dortmund, PSG. So Dortmund could be vulnerable today. They're away at Leipzig. Leipzig are odds-on favourites, so you might want to take the hint there and have a look at possibly taking on that Dortmund lead, just on the basis that they're pre-champions. They're going to be distracted. You're very, very deep in the competition. You can't win the title. Got to rest the stars. You're playing Paris Saint-Germain with home advantage. Thursday, I think we've got the Europa League. Marseille, Atalanta, Roma, Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen playing today. Champions already. Aston Villa are at home today. Olympiacos, Fiorentina. I think they won yesterday. Club Brugge as well. So these are the main sides you have to look at. And they're all playing again the week after. So this 4th and 5th is going to be very difficult to unpack or to trust this set of teams. So just be wary of what's upcoming. So we've got our Maritimo match. We've got the equaliser for Leipzig, which, what a pity. It didn't stand. And Bayern Munich cocking it up again. Should have laid them, shouldn't we? Pre-Champions League. This lot are going to be very, very distracted. We're talking, you could be in the final. And the season is over in Germany. That's, could have played that, couldn't we? So let's just get Maritimo up and ready and waiting. This again is struggling. Just with the internet. So which select? Yeah, I've got the local Wi-Fi on. So if you're looking at Maritimo and Firenze, the in-play stats are a little too tight, which is a worry. You could lay over 1.5 goals. Look at Maritimo +1. We haven't looked at the research yet either. 1.73. Match odds 3.75, which is perfectly reasonable for a 1.4 pre-match favourite playing at home. But let's make sure that there's enough motivation for these sites. Well, particularly for Enza. Use your 15 minutes at half time wisely. This is probably best using. Possible first half goal, Freiburg against Wolfsburg, says Mark. So let's check that out. Mark, Freiburg against Wolfsburg. It's not a match I have a strong opinion on, but you must have got something off the research. So I'm sorry if I'm not wholly familiar with the research at this stage of the season, just to give you something to work with rather than me saying I'm not going to research this match. I've done it via AI, so they might be coming up with these weird and wonderful angles that Mark's probably latched onto. So let's have a look. Both teams have seen first half goals in their recent matches, so indeed Mark's spot on there. He's spotted that potential angle. The next thing to do, Mark, is to make sure that they're turned up as well. If we don't have any shots on target, we're not going to get any goals before half time. Now, if you've got a possible both teams to score, as you can see, only one shot on target for Freiburg, none for the Wolf. So this research is not mine. Okay, these aren't my angles. I just wanted to give you something at this stage of the season, rather than me saying I'm not going to research this because X, Y, and Z. Freiburg aiming for a top six. Wolfsburg have still to navigate the relegation dogfight. So there's plenty to work with, Mark. And I think Mark's picked up on that both teams to score before half-time angle. Got it right with the Hoff last week. Both teams to score suggests 2+ goals, doesn't it, Mark? So first half goals could be a possible play there. But we're lacking in shots on and off target at the moment. So this would be a speculative play. It's not one I would have on my radar for a goal before half-time. But you're looking at first half goals, 1.5. You could back that at 12s. That's pretty decent, isn't it? As ever, if you're dealing speculatively, make sure you're always limiting your liability. Keep it as short as possible. So this is a decent risk reward here. And this is a neutral play, so it doesn't matter who scores, as long as we get a goal. But we're half an hour in, so that's why we're getting decent odds. But you're right to point this out. It's after 20 minutes. Possibility of both teams to score, but the in-play stats, Mark, I'm afraid, are a little lacking. Although we have got a shot on target each. Plenty secondary stats as well. But as I repeat, this is all from soccerway.com and from Soccer24. I stick it in the pot and I ask ChatGPT to unpack it for us. Some of the research is pretty decent, but at this stage of the season, we're more biased towards need for points, aren't we? And that can change the season-long angles, because you're looking at context now and the amount of matches left. So it's pre-Champions League, as you know, for Dortmund. Leipzig, slight advantage, impressive home form. Borussia Dortmund's attacking prowess and away record make them formidable. Expect an exciting and closely fought encounter. It's all peripheral wording here. That's just the AI working. Have they given any scores? Let's have a look on the old Diana Dawes. Leipzig kept 4 clean sheets in the last 5. We could have used that, couldn't we, had Dortmund scored first? You could have used, scored in each of the last 4 away matches. Expect a goal from them. Both teams have been prolific scoring, especially in the second half matches. So that's a draw at half time. Possibility of taking that on second half. So Maritimo, we haven't yet got to the match yet. The best way to go to soccer stats is via Microsoft Edge. So let's have a look. Portuguese La Liga 2. We want to look at motivation as well. It sounds as if Maritimo will be up near the top. So the best thing to do first is look at the league positions for both teams. So we've got Maritimo. They're not near the top. No. Where are they? Yes, they are, fourth. So they need to start winning, Maritimo. A win today will keep them fourth, but we'll close the gap with AVS, who have been a bit hit and miss, as you can see. Only one win in the last four, AVS. Maritimo not losing. Faenza, all to play for, isn't it? So that's the problem we have at this stage of the season. These sides in trouble, like Faenza, and you'll see it better illustrated in the live standings. So sides like Faenza, let's have a look at the live standings for these two. It's a really great feature, this live standings. It's going to serve you very well, just as English League Two is kicking off. So we're going to be up and ready for that. What we need to do for English League Two, and we've got Tranmere lead, is to make sure we know the goals. So you've got to start every single English League Two match. We need to be alerted to the goals. Then you go to the live standings and see how impactful that goal has been, whether the match is a dead rubber, etc. So Faenza, while they're still winning, they will remain 16th today. But 16th is a promotion playoff place with a team from Liga 3. So they have that advantage, but take 3 points away, they will still remain on or in the 16th spot. But they'll be ever nearer to Oliverense Lietsos. Maritimo, a win today will take them, as I say, 2 points nearer to AVS and European football, or Promotion La Liga. So I think the third spot is, it doesn't say La Liga promotion, probably a promotion playoff. So that will be keen on Maritimo's mind. It's a very tight match, as you can tell. It's a must-win for both teams. I'm a little reticent, based on the in-play stats, to take on Faenza just yet. But if you wanted to take out insurance, you could hope that this remains 0-1 for a while. So let's have a look at that for Maritimo. You know, we've had ample examples that you can't take the odds for granted. There's 1.4 shots like Peterborough losing, Liverpool losing at this stage of the season. But if you wanted to lay over 1.5 goals to start with, just get that one out of the way. About £7 or thereabouts. Just a little bit above, £9.20. Then I can just leave that for a little bit, see if I can. We'll see if Maritimo will improve second half. So English League One, English League Two, sorry. We're going to start every single English League Two match. Anything last day of the season, we've got to start because we've got to follow the matches. Best way to get to the league. There we go. So we're going to star every single match now. We've got to be alerted. Sheffield United scored first against Newcastle. Now, this is another tricky one because you know and I know Sheffield United have 2 goals in them, don't they? Very regularly. I'm just going to change from an aircon to a fan. I'm getting a little cold, so excuse me for a sec. Okay. So, definite possibility, if there can be such a thing, a definite possibility of taking on. Now, we've got a goal for Salford as well. So, let's see how English League One is brewing up. Werder Bremen have got the first goal against Augsburg. That Augsburg goal disallowed. That could be a possible angle in. Don't forget, Augsburg are odds-on favourites today. Don't forget, we need to know. Well, it's a carrot and a stick for Werder Bremen. They're in a real bind. They could still be relegated, but they could also reach the European places. What a position to be in for Werder Bremen. They've made the right move as far as heading towards the European places with the opening goal. As I say, I don't research these matches now at this stage of the season. I tend to see it as a bit of a waste of time if we're looking at season-long stats in matches where these are pretty much one-offs until the end of the season because teams need or don't need points. Let's have a look. Goal scoring trends. Neither team has played a 0-0 draw this season. Won 5 of the last 7 games when Tietz scores. And Werder Bremen goal has been disallowed, so that's all academic at the moment. Let's have a look at the Newcastle-Sheffield United match. Opening goal, was it a penalty? Was it from a corner? Open play. They do have Ahmed Hodzic, my old pal, Ahmed Hodzic. They're pretty much down, aren't they, Sheffield United, let's be honest. They're not even on the 20-point barrier yet, but this could be an important win because they're 1 point away from the 20-point barrier. But their squabble is with Nottingham Forest, as is the rest of the relegation threatened sides. Everton are safe. They're going to put the cherry on top with a positive performance today, of course. If Luton win today, Everton will still have to, will still not be safe. Luton and Nottingham Forest can still get Everton back in the squabble, but Everton are, well, they're on the front foot at the moment. Their result against Liverpool has pretty much saved their season. Just got a friend request from a Nigerian, so I'm in the money. Hopefully it's a Nigerian prince who can help me. Right, so Newcastle and Sheffield United in-play stats to start with. What we've got with and this could be a good example of both teams to score, given that 2-goal haul for Sheffield United. John H's excellent idea. We've not used it often enough, but this could be a good opportunity to use it at this particular stage of the season. Both teams to score no. Covers your 0-1, covers your 0-2, covers your 0-3. 0-2 is what I'm worried about. And as you can see, 17.5. You're looking to win the amount you want to play with, okay? Looking to win the amount you want to play with. So if I want to play with £40, I back both teams to score no. To win £40 minus commission. Look at that, it costs £2.42. Next thing, we go into the correct score market because 1-2, even if Newcastle get a goal back after being 2 goals down, you're still going to lose out at 1-2. So let's look for this 1-2. It's going to be big odds again, 16.5. So this is a really good show. That's going to hopefully, have I got the right one? 1-2 is down here. That was a 1-1, so my apologies. This is the problem with using this. If you've got a flitting market, just change it back to as on Betfair and that stays rigid. I keep getting caught out when we've got flitting markets like this. I put it in odds order. I prefer odds order. Here we go, we've got 18.5 for the Geordies. And as you can see, it's a very illiquid market. That's gone down to 12. So it's just, oh, it's a pain in the bleep. Because you know it's bigger odds than this. There we go. So we're looking to win the amount we want to play with, 40 quid. Now, when you've done this, you've got carte blanche now to go straight to the match odds market. 1.6 favour. Got nothing, absolutely nothing. No value at all.
This market has been suspended.
So this is one you sit on your hands. We've seen it time and time again. The only real way to play these kind of matches is to look to the half-time markets. But then, once Sheffield, and there's that goal before half-time. So again, Mark, thank you very much for pointing this out to us, like you did last week with Hoffenheim. And well, all I can say is thank you again, Mark. So let's see what that goal has done. Well, it's 42nd minute.
SC Freiburg Wolfsburg is 1-0.
So it's probably not going to get us any real odds movement. Of course, you could just lay the 0-0 in the half-time score market. You don't have to aim for 2 goals just because you think there's going to be 2 goals. So there we go. Don't spend it all at once, okay? At 43p, do please contact a financial advisor. I would recommend investing that, or it's £1.59 into property. But had you gone to the lower tier, you'd have been okay. Let's hope there's some Fergie time here, because it's a 10-to-1 punt. If you wanted, you can get out now. Don't forget, your profit is all relative to the amount you risk. So this is pretty much an evens return, or just below evens return. So it's not too shabby. For example, if this was a £40 liability, that would be a £35 profit. Even that late goal, 42nd minute, and we're playing a 2-goal market. Look at the profit that's been made. It's amazing, isn't it? So this is a good example. Let me just take a screenshot of this. I think it's a good example of your profit relative to your risk. It's not an outstanding profit, but it's a good return relative to the amount risked. And thank you again, Mark, for that. So let's just remind ourselves of that. Livingston have scored first against Ross County. Don't have a strong opinion there. English League 2 we're going to catch up on as well. So reward is tied to the amount risked. So remember that. So quite simply, bigger risk equals bigger reward equals bigger loss. That's the conundrum. Right. Well, I was looking at Saint Etienne earlier on, so we'll get rid of that. Let's go to English League 2, because this is their day today. They're all going to be in the My Games facility. Let's have a look at any of these early goals and how they've impacted. We've got another goal coming in. Wimbledon have just scored against Walsall. I don't know where these are in the league. Let's have our first look at English League 2. And don't forget, try to create time pressure for these teams, i.e. 75th minute onwards when you need a goal. Right, as things stand, we do know the top 4 we can get rid of, unless their opponents have anything to play for. Okay. I don't know what that was. Is that the Nigerian bloke sending me my 12.5 million COVID package? That's very kind of him. Stockport, Mansfield, Wrexham and MK Dons have nothing to play for unless they're playing opponents with something to play for. MK Dons, as you can see, playing Sutton. Do Sutton have anything to play for today? Let's have a look. And they've just scored first. Sutton United. Indeed, there's only 2 places. Only 2 places for Sutton for in English League 2 for relegation purposes. Forest Green are down. They're going to be either first or second bottom with a win today. So that's a dead rubber from Forest Green's perspective, all dependent on their opponent. But Sutton United, well, they're down, aren't they? No, this is taking into account. No, they are down. A win will be 44 points. So that's a dead rubber. Okay, we've got to get rid of our dead rubbers. You don't play this one. However compelling it is, you don't play. So let's work all the way from the top down. Accrington and Tranmere. Do these 2 need anything? Let's have a look. Accrington and Tranmere. Well, it's 41. It's mid-table mediocrity. It's not a must-win. Try not to be tempted to play. Okay? Yes, you've got the motivation. It's your last match of the season. Yes, but that's about it. Last match in front of home support. Wimbledon and Walsall. Let's have a look. And we've got plenty of English League 2 goals. We've got Mansfield scoring. And as you know, I think it's job done for Mansfield, isn't it, this season? Yeah, they can't be caught in the top 3. If you change this to standings, you'll see the arrows. And the arrows will point out to you all of these sides that have nothing to play for. So we're going to be going down in alphabetical order. Wimbledon against Walsall. And again, for me, it's mid-table mediocrity. They can't. Yes, no, I might be wrong. No,
This market has been suspended.
we're looking at this 7th place here for Barrow. Well, Barrow was still losing. And as you can hear that's Football 24 in the background. Well, Barrow was still losing. Look at the goal difference of 5 to Wimbledon's 10. But Wimbledon can't catch them. The thing is, Walsall might be able to with a win today, 68. But they'll need to get a 4-goal difference. While it's still possible, I suppose we don't discount it, okay? Now, it all depends if the Walsall in-play stats start lighting up on fire because they need to score 4 or 5 goals. Barrow against Old Jane. Let's have a look. We know that Mansfield, their season is over, but how about Barrow? Barrow are in that last place and they've got Crawley breathing down their necks. They've got Bradford breathing down their necks. Arguably, they've got Walsall breathing down their necks, but their relegation or their promotion playoff place is really going to be a squabble between them, Crawley and Bradford. You would suggest it is a must-win for Barrow. So that's going to stay important. Can we take Mansfield on? Bradford against Newport County. Let's have a look. This is what we do at the end of the season. Got to make sure it's get rid of dead rubbers. Bradford, 67 to 68, only 1 point difference. Don't forget that's accounting for the draw. So they started the day on 66. So a win today take them to 69. And if Barrow keep losing, Bradford keep believing. So that's a must win. Newport, dead rubber. So you've got a one-way traffic here. You should have Bradford. No wonder they're 1.29 favourite today. Colchester and Crewe. Let's have a look at this one. KUPS have scored first in the Finnish Veikkausliiga. They are this side to follow this season with HJK Helsinki. What a pity Lahti couldn't score first today. Lahti got us a nice trade last week, didn't they? Based purely on the in-play stats. Let's have a look at Colchester and Crewe. Colchester are on 45 points. They can't be caught. Yeah, they can't be caught. Because Sutton are on the same points they would be if it was the start of the match. Add 3 to that, it's 44. Colchester's season over. Crewe, 68, 69, 70, 71. There's only one team that can catch them. And that is Crawley. So if Crawley win and Crewe lose, Crawley could get up there on goal difference. Crawley could also overtake Barrow. So everything to play for Crawley. There. Sorry, where am I? Colchester and Crewe, sorry. Let's just start that again. I was looking at Crewe. Normally they highlight the team. Yeah, Crewe. So, yeah, Crawley can catch them. Plenty to play for Crewe. You'd argue there. Crawley and Grimsby. Well, we already know about Crawley. They are there or thereabouts in the top 7. They must win. 67 plus 3 makes 70. So while things are, well, while it's still alive, they're going to give it a good go. Grimsby are safe. So the onus is on Crawley to get a result here, and hence the short odds. It's a dead rubber for Grimsby. They'll be delighted to stay up. Forest Green are relegated, but what of Notts County? Notts County have anything to play for. Mid-table mediocrity, dead rubber. Please don't get tempted in with your dead rubbers. Gillingham and Donny. Let's have a look. Standings. Doncaster, 71 points. Crawley can arguably knock them off their perch. Currently, if you take the point away for the draw, they're at 70 points. So they can still be caught with a win for Barrow. I think it's just Barrow that can get them. But while a side can still get them, indeed, yeah, Barrow can get them. Crewe can overtake them. Crawley, that's with a draw in play. This is why you need Carol Vorderman and Rachel Riley on the phone for you to do all this maths. Mid-table mediocrity for Gillingham. Arguably still a little bit of work to be done for Donny. Salford against Harrogate. Is this goal important for Salford? We're not getting any important goals just yet. It's half-time in the German Bundesliga. Oh, Colin Hendry. Well, nice to see him up and about again. 1.3 favourites at the moment. 1.73 pre-match. They're leading Salford. It's all about the last match of the season. Does Harrogate have anything to play for? Mid-table mediocrity for Harrogate. Salford are safe.
Maritimo Firenze is 0-2.
There we go. That's an ample example to you of why we cannot discount these 16th placed and lower sides this season. So I'm glad I didn't pull the trigger. I've lost a bit on the insurance, but now this could be a possible angle in. I did show you the in-play stats, and that's something you have to remind yourself about. In-play stats are key. And they were showing a tight match, weren't they? Now you know that Firenze must win. We've got a goal for Crawley, which would be vital for them. We know that it's a dead rubber for Grimsby. So that could change the complexion of this match. Let's go Wrexham and Stockport. Have a quick look. So you need to do this work. I'm afraid, last match of the season, you've got to know the dead rubbers. You've got to ignore the dead rubbers. Stay disciplined. Stick with matches of great importance. Don't forget, we're trying to create that time pressure, which one match of the season remaining does. Far better at half time. Far better 75th minute. You've got 15 minutes to save your season. How about that? Let's have a look at the standings for Wrexham and Stockport County. We know Wrexham are done. They're up. Ryan Reynolds, et al. Stockport County, where are they? They are up as well. So this is just a bit of fun for old Ryan Reynolds and his pals. So we can get rid of that as a dead rubber. Swindon and Morecambe. It's already 1-2. How is that impacting these two? And is it a must-win for either of these two? Plenty of goals coming in. Notts County scoring against Forest Green in a dead rubber, so we're not going to be interested in that. We've got a goal for the Swans away at Norwich. I wonder if Norwich are odds-on favourite today. It is 0-3 to Firenze. That's when we get involved. Okay? That's when we get involved. 0-3. Don't forget they're playing a 1.4 shot. Morecambe and Swindon, it's a dead rubber. These two are not going to benefit anything. As you can see, 15th against 19th. I've got to be disciplined. Ignore. Salford and Harrogate. Did I get to that? Notts County goal disallowed, but Maritimo Firenze, we might have a good angle in now. Salford are safe. Harrogate, nothing to play for. So now we've reduced the amount of teams that we need to follow to a 2-4-6, to a baker's dozen. So that's excellent. 1.67 favourites, Norwich are a goal down. The Firenze goal has been disallowed. What a pity, because that would have been our angle in. So let's have a look at the Maritimo match. I like those odds, to be honest. If you think about the amount of time left, half an hour to go for a 1.4 favourite at home. They are playing a newly or a side who could see safety with 3 points. This is why we've got to be so careful. Liverpool are just the ideal example of this at this stage of the season. So by all means, if you fancy lay now. Far better at 0-3, of course. But a goal from Maritimo, change the complexion of this match. Try to keep your liability as low as possible, while still having a reasonable chance at a profit. Again, we can risk under a tenner to see if we can get 100 plus on the 1.25 favourites. Newcastle equaliser already. The value was in the half-time market, wasn't it? I'm afraid. Sorry, I didn't keep an eye on that one. But you've got to keep an eye on the in-play stats. This one looks reasonable enough. at 102. We can start again with that lay of Firenze, just to cover a bit of the liability on the draw. Keep the liability, as you can see, as low as possible. There's plenty of time to go. If they were truly 1.4 pre-match, and it is a must-win for both teams, more so for Firenze, survival at stake. This is a good, I think, a good balance between liability and the amount of time left. What a pity with Newcastle. I hope you played yourselves. At 1.6, you have to really default to the half-time market, don't you? Absolutely no value to be had. Goal at Freiburg. Maritime last 2 games 0-0, and the away side only scored 1 goal against the top 8 away, says Ian. It's now 0-2, Ian. Don't forget, this stage of the season, it's a sudden shift now to needs must rather than seasonal form. We've got a goal for Harrogate. I think that's a dead rubber. So we've got to keep an eye on League 2. Don't get tempted in. Unless the in-play stats are emphatic and you're willing to lose money. That's what I would say there. Hopefully this is working today. We haven't been to the Guru yet properly. So let's have a quick look. Okay, Maritimo, as you can see, it's very, very tight. You've got to pay attention to the in-play stats. Okay, regardless of the pre-match odds, it's telling you it's a very, very tight match. Identical stats. Identical. And it's a really poor performance from Maritimo at the moment. Or a good defensive display, as you could say, from Firenze, who desperately need points, as you can see. But with 3 draws recently, well, all 0-0, alas. So that doesn't help us at all. Freiburg and the Wolf. We've got the goal before half-time, as Mark suggested. I hope you played. If you're going to get both teams to score possible angle, then by all means, go for the single goal. You've got a good chance of it coming in. Let's just tidy this up a little bit. Tanano and Ascoli, 97th minute. Now, I have to keep all of these leagues open because the in-play Guru has been a bit messy of late, so having to do this manually. I think I did the research for this, so let's have a quick look. Lecce and Monza. We've got a goal for Stockport, who we know are already up against Wrexham, so it's a dead rubber. Ignore. Probably got Ryan Reynolds playing for Wrexham today. Wimbledon and Walsall is an equaliser. Again, is it on our list? It is. Now, let's break off. If it's on our list, we've got to break off and have a look at how this has affected the standing. It's a penalty for Walsall. Let's have a look at the standings. One of these 2 sides, or both of them, need points. Indeed, they're. I think the onus really is on Wimbledon, isn't it? Or can these 2 catch Crawley? But if you take 3 points away for Crawley, if it gets to a draw or a loss for Crawley, that gets down to 67. And they can be caught. But while Crawley are winning, Walsall and Wimbledon, no matter what they do, can't get anywhere. So I think it's important for both of these 2 teams. Well, yeah. If we add 2 points to Wimbledon, it becomes 65. Add 2 points to Walsall, becomes 68. So they're going to have to hope that Crawley slip up. If there's a draw in the Crawley match, the Crawley's points go back down to 68. So I think there's still some, just a late lay the draw. You never know what will happen with the others. Do your job and hope that Grimsby get a result. Highly unlikely, given the pre-match odds. But I think this is could be a very, very late lay the draw. It's not really a must-win anymore, is it, with Crawley winning currently? That's why we need these live standings at this stage of the season. We've got to make sure we don't play dead rubbers. Lecce and Monza, I was just heading off there, wasn't I? Crucial Serie A battle. Lecce host Monza. Okay, both teams have distinctive objectives. Lecce aim to secure their position comfortably above the relegation zone. Monza seeks to climb higher in the league standings. That's not a must. But, I think they get prize money for a bigger, higher position. Lecce holds the upper hand due to their home form in recent performances. Monza's resilience can make an intriguing contest. This is all AI speak, I'm afraid. Lecce are unbeaten in the last 5 Serie A matches against Monza. Top scorers, home and away form. Lecce has 6 wins, 5 draws. Consecutive shutouts in the last 2 home matches for Lecce. So if Monza are leading, that might be an angle in. AI does like the old 2-1 scoreline, so do watch out for that. It's a little one-dimensional. You have to read between the lines with AI. When it says 2-1, think both teams to score, I think. Far too often it goes for a 2-1. Lecce's recent form and home advantage are favourites to win this match. Monza's potential to surprise cannot be overlooked. So it's very diplomatic of AI, isn't it, that? Not discounting the away side. So we're looking at with interest. Gillingham and Doncaster is a match of interest as well. And we're going to have a look at the English Championship as well. But I think there's 3 or 4 matches remaining this season there. So we've got a lead for Donny against Gillingham. This is obviously on our list. Is it of great importance? Well, it is for Donny. It can cement their promotion playoff place. If it stays as it is, they can't be caught. Take 3 points away, they can be caught. Gillingham, mid-table mediocrity. So I think if that remains...
This market has been suspended.
Remains 1-0. Is that a goal back for Maritimo? We can hope. Have a look at the English Championship as well. Well, let's go to our first proper look at the in-play stats today. We haven't really had a good look at it. And it's a 2-0 lead for Crawley. So that hope for Crawley's opponents. And there's a goal back for Maritimo. So 0-2, ideally 0-3 would have been an absolutely excellent angle. Now, this is another reminder to you, risk, reward, okay? If that was 79 quid, this would be 105. This was 15 quid, that would be 22. Okay, so it's all relative to the amount you risk.
Goal.
If you want an
Maritimo
immediate out.
is 1-2.
So that's good stuff from Maritimo. I'm just going to save that again. It's a good example of options at exit. Options at exit. What do I mean? Stick. Take the 11. Nice haul. Albeit unspectacular. Negate the draw. But the draw is still odds on. Sorry, negate Firenze. Negate the liability on Firenze. And load profit on Maritimo. So let's have a look at our options at exit. I'm afraid I can't help you with your options at exit. That, for me, is quite a decent return. It's about a 2-1. So it's settled down a bit, hasn't it? It's gone up from the £11.91 and it now appears as £14, which is reasonable. As I keep saying to you, that's a 14% of £100 if you're aiming for that in a trading session. That's a decent return. Don't forget, just for a single goal. What else can you do?
This market has been suspended.
Well, you can sit back and hope Maritimo make it 2-2. I have yet to confirm that. And indeed they have. Now we are up and running, ladies and gentlemen. Colchester has scored against Crewe. We need to break off. So if you're playing last matches of the season, what you'll need to do ideally is to have your dead rubbers out, have your Football 24 on your telephone, make sure you check English League 2 scorelines. And Stoke City have scored against Saints, who have just been the worst of the 3 relegated Premiership sides. So let's have a look at the standings now with that Colchester goal. How important is that goal?
Maritimo Firenze is 2-2.
Lovely jubbly. That's your first proper cash out opportunity there. Crewe, desperate need for points. and they've conceded, but they're okay at the moment. They will retain that relegation playoff place, that promotion playoff place. But if Barrow can turn it around, get an equaliser, and then a win, if Bradford can get another couple of points, well, they won't catch them though. They'll be on 69. Will Crewe survive? Colchester, though, they're safe as houses. Nothing to worry about with Colchester, but with Crewe, with Colchester, it's Crewe that might need something here. So that's still got a little bit of work to do. Let's cross off for Maritimo. Now, how about that? That's looking a little rosier. Wouldn't it have been nicer at 0-3? Now you can negate that liability and load profit, unless that 52. I've got these wrong the last two occasions. Heidenheim, backing them at 200s. You could have made an absolute fortune. We had it the other day as well. Got another big winner, which I cashed out early from. Austria Klagenfurt, backed them at 95s, and they won against Red Bull Salzburg. I got out with a £58 green when I could have made some ridiculous, really 248 quid or something. So, stick or twist. I will leave it up to you, okay? I think at this stage, take the 52 and run to the hills. It's up to you, though, please. You can negate that liability. You've got to weigh up the amount of time left in the match. Don't be a parrot, okay? Don't just simply copy. You must try to think for yourself, especially with your options at exit. If you want the possibility of 128 quid while negating your loss here, have a break, have a break-even punt on a big return. Go for it. I'm happy enough with 54 quid at the moment. You can also get involved a little bit later on if you want to lay the draw later. But what a great recovery from the 1.4 shots Maritimo. Wolves have opened up against Luton. We haven't really had a look at the Premier League yet because we're fixated with this English League 2. And again, got to check these goals out. And then we've got to head to the in-play stats. So how impactful is this Wimbledon-Walsall second goal? Well, not so for Wimbledon because they're winning and they can't reach 70 points. So they're not going to be going anywhere. But Walsall still could turn it around and with a win take them to 69 points. And then they've got to hope that, got to hope that Crawley cock it up. So I think it might be game over or getting there for Wimbledon and Walsall. Gillingham and Donny. Let's have a look. Ironside, the old bloke from the Bill, getting on the score sheet. Good to see him. No nonsense, tough Cockney copper. Ironside getting the goal for Donny. All right, my son. Here he is, Ironside. All right, my son. So Donny are doing it all right. I think this is heading towards dead rubber territory now. Wimbledon and Walsall, but I'll keep it up, keep it alive. Barrow must get something. Bradford and Newport, this is the kind of thing we look for if we've got to lay the draw in a must-win. We're trying to get that pressure, aren't we? Get these teams to perform late on, like we had 2 out of 3 in the last match, but the third one didn't have to win after the other two's got the goals. Bandon, it's where my mother comes from in Ireland. Wow, they're beating Cobe Wanderers, not Cobe Ramblers. So it looks like people of Cobe like to ramble or wander. Lecce and Monza, don't have a strong opinion here, I'm afraid. So I'll just leave that. No shots on target for Monza as well against Lecce. Maritimo, good stuff. How are you performing in a Maritimo match? Are you staying in? You're looking for that 100 plus profit. 15 minutes to go. Second half belongs to Maritimo by a long chalk. Can I get that third goal? It's going to be crucial for their season as well. Ditto for Firenze. So this could be another one. Lay the late draw as late as possible. Come on, here, Bandon. Been many times down to Bandon. Get rid of this. Extra Classe, Gornik Zabretza, job done already. So let's just get rid of some peripheral matches. Saint Etienne, job done so far, but 11 shots off target for Sen. They don't like that, Saint Etienne, but they are surviving. They've kept just a single shot on target. Having a really good run in, Saint Etienne, third in the league. And you would have seen that early on in the season. They were really struggling. They're putting in a really good shift, trying to get back into French League 1. MK Dons make it 2-0. As you know, it's a dead rubber for MK Dons. So we've got nothing to worry about there. Getafe have the opening goal against Almeria. That's absolutely no surprise. But it's a kind of match today where the market's suggesting Almeria have a chance. But they are relegated. Only one win all season for Almeria. But they are in front of home support today. That might be something for them to work with. Coming to the end of these Swedish Super 8 matches, I'm not going to play them just yet. It's a lower tier. It's not the best league in the world. It's far too early as well in the season. So we'll just get rid of some of these peripheral leagues that we don't need. And then we'll soon be heading to half time where we can reevaluate English League 2 and see who needs what we should be focusing on in the second half of the matches and whether there is any actual trading angles. Bayern Munich Frankfurt is going to be tough to call. Bayern Munich really have nothing to play for apart from a Champions League spot. And they are pre-Champions League, so we really should have laid them a goal up, shouldn't we? But we did that against Heidenheim. Werder Bremen, is the market accurate? Well, it's not looking so. We're only one shot on target for Augsburg at the moment. They did score in the first half, but that was disallowed. So we'll keep that up there. It's a 1.67 shot, a goal down. So we might get something out of Augsburg second half. But Werder Bremen are stuck between the carrot and the stick. They can still be relegated and they can still reach Europe, which is amazing. This is should have been a play, shouldn't it, really? Once we confirmed that Dortmund were in the Champions League, they're away from home. It's the end of the season. Leipzig are already, Leverkusen already champions, and faith in the market.
Bandon AFC Cobite Wanderers is 2-0.
Yes, come on, Abandon. My mum will be delighted with that one. She'll have a Guinness to celebrate. Bandon FC. Spent many a good year in my youth down in Cork and Bandon. So Bayern Munich, a tough match to unpack. Blackburn Rovers looks like one-way traffic against Coventry. 5 shots on 10 off and 6 corners. 19th in the league. So that could be a draw to lay second half. Coventry a bit deflated under Mark Robins after the FA Cup exploits. And I think these 4 defeats are all down to the FA Cup exploits as well. Brilliant late goal scorers as we profited in the last match in the FA Cup against Man United. We took on that Man United lead, didn't we? Midweek, if you were with me, made a decent return there. Sen are going for glory at the end of this match. It's going to be a tough one for Saint Etienne. Starting to collect shots on target, this Sen side. Let's just catch up with any others. I'm not sure with Bayern. I don't know what to do. It's a dead rubber and it's pre-Champions League. English League 2. Anything important stats-wise? Notts County and Forest Green, it's a dead rubber. So I'm not going to get over enthused about it. Colchester against Crewe. Colchester must win. MK Dons, dead rubber. Pontefract Collieries, of course, you Pontefract Collieries fans. I have liked Hearts this season throughout, so I'll keep an eye on them, tentatively. Got to have a look at the English Championship as well, because we've neglected the other English leagues today. So let's just put the leagues into league order, into alphabetical order, and get rid of all these Algerians. Plenty of goals coming in, but they're in peripheral leagues like Norwegian First Division and that, so I'm not passing them on to you. You might hear them in the background. So get rid of all of this stuff. And we work our way down to England. Anything of importance? 12th against 24th. This is important to know, league positions. This is why you pay your money for these in-play stats feeds. They give you really good information on the one page, so you don't have to keep flitting from tab to tab. When it performs in Play Guru, it is the best in the market, but it's had plenty of off days. Okay, so let's have a look through. Bristol City and Rotherham, 1.1. Bristol City, so job done for them at the moment. But while it remains 1-0, we'll monitor that. This is a relegation six-pointer, Millwall and Plymouth. Millwall have been picking up wins, desperate wins. And it's 2-0 for Bradford against Newport. So we'll just have a break. And that's an important result as well, because that's in our list of matches of importance. So let's have a look at the importance of that goal for Bradford City. Well, Bradford City are doing their job, put it that way. They need Crewe to cock it up. Well, no, they don't, because they still can't. They need Crawley to lose. So it might be too much, I'm afraid, for Bradford.
Goal. Augsburg Werder Bremen is 0-2.
Well, I'm glad I didn't pull the trigger on the Augsburg Werder Bremen match. 0-2 to Werder. The carrot and the stick for them this season, or at the moment. It could be a possible angle in, depending on Augsburg's in-play stats now. I think you've got the one lesson you should take off this stage of the season is that don't take the markets.
Augsburg Werder Bremen is 0-2.
Okay, don't take the odds for granted. Liverpool other side to show you that. Only the one shot on target, so that 0-1 lead was not gettable. But 0-2 could be possibly gettable. Don't forget there's an hour to go. Have a quick look at the research from old AI. Carrot and stick for Werder. So the initial stuff is from me. And then the rest is from Soccerway and Soccer24. Hope it gives you some angles. They've won 5 out of 7 matches when Tietz has scored. Werder Bremen's Mitchell Weiser has lost only 2 of his last 8 head-to-heads. Neither team has played a 0-0. Augsburg's home form. So this isn't how I would lay out my research. Mine is purely statistically driven. Possible scoreline could be a 2-1 Augsburg. Well, we'll see if AI gets that one right. So I don't have a strong opinion, but as with Maritimo, if you're going to take a side on, take them on 0-2 lead. I'll just make sure that you're okay at YouTube. I know Paul will phone me if there's a problem, which is very kind of him. But it looks as if we're going along well. Goal at Freiburg. Okay, yeah, no additional comments there. So let's just break off and have a look. There's Bayern Munich getting the goal, but trusting them. Boy, good luck with that. And a Sen red card should get Saint-Etienne the 3 points today. Crucial 3 points for them. Penalty for Dutch. So that could be a possible play. If it's a penalty for the second goal, that's a nice one for Maritimo. And again, this is a good example. If you've cashed out, you don't have to sweat that third goal for Maritimo. It's locked in. That's the advantage of trading over traditional punting. It's locked in. You can go off, have a cup of tea. Merry Christmas. So let's have a look at the Augsburg match. Are Werder Bremen's odds short enough for us, though, have a tentative play? Yes, is the answer. Second goal, a penalty. So for me, that's the key catalyst. Oh, have I missed the
This
opportunity?
market has been suspended.
If this is 1-2 for Augsburg, I will be pressing the mute button and swearing rather loudly. So I wait with interest For the record, 1.15 to lay Werder Bremen, 30 to back Augsburg with half an hour to go. Not too shabby. But something has happened. Don't know if it's handbags, 6 paces. We will see. A football player got lightly touched on the arm and has gone down like a sack of spuds. I don't know. Maybe could be substitutions. 61st minute, Biel and Michel. Who was that key player for Augsburg? Began with Z, didn't he? There's our Tietz. Yes, Mr. Tietz. There's our Michel Pfeiffer on the bench as well. Excellent stuff. Good to see on Michel out and about. Tietz is playing. He's been the key for Augsburg's success. So as long as they don't substitute Tietz, which they have. Yes, they have. Oh dear. Right, that's not what we want. If you're reading the research. A late Lecce goal, or is it? I wouldn't have played the late lay the draw. But this is a one of interest. As I just think the suspensions is the suspended market is down to those substitutes, and it's gone even lower now, 1.12. Excellent stuff. And at 36s, you only need a few quid to make it over the 100 barrier, which will help you in your cashing out. There we go. Keep your liability as low as possible because we're playing against the clock. Lecce have got the late winner against Monza. Monza kept them very, very quiet. I wouldn't have laid that late draw myself. I'm going to pass this one on to Telegram. I should have passed Maritimo on to Telegram. But this is the advantage of attending live streams rather than relying on Telegram. You get to see it all in front of your eyes, decision making, what I work through, looking for angles. This is a good one. Augsburg v Werder Bremen is 0-2. The second Werder Bremen goal was a penalty, which has me intrigued here. I've laid Werder Bremen at 1.12. Small back of Augsburg at 44s as well. Let's see if Augsburg turn up like the 1.67 favourite they were pre-match. It's a very low liability, maximal upside. So let's have a look with that one. Just going to get Football 24 back on the old mobile. And off we go. So we'll keep that with interest. As you know, liability, keep it as low as possible. We've still got enough time left. 23 minutes is plenty of time. If they can get a goal before the 80th minute, that'll give the market a kind of a hint that we might have some angles in. We haven't even checked the Premier League out or the Championship, so let's do that. We've been too fixated with English League 2 in the last match of the season. Blackburn 19th against 8. That's a really standout in-play stats, isn't it, for Blackburn Rovers? And they might be taking advantage of this Coventry, who are really emotionally drained after that FA Cup. It's going to impact them at the wrong time of the season. Too. These managers really have to weigh up the benefits of an FA Cup run, particularly if you're that near to the promotion playoff places as well. It can be a poison chalice. Bristol City and Rotherham. Well, we know all about Rotherham, don't we? So Bristol City have got that goal already. Rotherham are relegated. This is a relegation 6-pointer, Millwall and Plymouth. So the draw might be layable second half. Certainly in Millwall games of late, we had those 3-0 nils at half, 4-0 nils at half time in the last 5 have seen second half goals. So that could be a possible lay the draw second half. So that's certainly of interest. Wolfsberger against Blau-Weiß Linz. Well, Blau-Weiß Linz are newly relegated. They might be vulnerable. These are all up and coming. So let's catch up with the Championship. Well, we know all about Bristol City. We know all about
This market has been suspended.
Huddersfield and Birmingham as a relegation 6-pointer. It might not be over this one. Cardiff and Borough, 11th against 9th. The push is for the promotion playoff places. Watford and Sunderland, 15th against 13th. Looks like mid-table mediocrity here. Sheffield Wednesday are leading the Baggies. The Owls are leading the Baggies. They've had a really good run, haven't they? Sheffield Wednesday trying desperately to stay up. Let's just have a quick look at the table. I need to visualize it. And why not use live standings? That'll give us a far better visualization of the championship. Monza late penalty. Wow, what an end to that match. So let's have a look at the live standings. That'll give us a clearer indicator of who needs what. Even though we've got a couple of matches remaining, 3 or 4 matches remaining. Southampton had their eye on automatic promotion, but they're going to have to be resigned, I think, to the promotion playoff places, particularly with Ipswich having 2 games in hand here. Ipswich hold the key to who's going to be automatically promoted. Norwich, good come from behind to try to cement that promotion playoff place. West Brom still will remain in the promotion playoff places regardless of today's result, but Hull will have a game in hand and could catch them up. But the positive goal difference for the Baggies. Middlesbrough are trying desperately to close the gap, and they will do with a win today, but they've still got a long way to go. 6-point gap to West Brom.
This market has been suspended.
Looking at the bottom, Rotherham are down. Huddersfield are starting to get a little bit of drift, so watch out for that Huddersfield match second half. Are they going to get a reaction, or are we going to get a reaction from Huddersfield? Because if they can turn this into a win, that's 47 points, which brings Birmingham, Plymouth into the equation. Arguably, the Blades, the Baggies, the Owls, I'll get it right eventually. And if you stayed in with Maritimo, take a bow, son. 90th plus minute winner for Maritimo. Wow. That's another 3-figure sum
Goal.
I've thrown away.
Maritimo Firenze is 3-2.
After Astrid Klagenfurt, after Heidenheim, I've thrown away the Maritimo win. But have I really? I've locked in my 55 quid profit. What if they didn't manage that late win? If you did play and you stayed in, well done to you. Fantastic stuff. And at the top here, the standings will tell us any side that survived. Leicester are up. Okay. So ignore any future Leicester performances. Almeria equalised against Getafe. I've got a little soft spot for Almeria. I did say they were possibly, they were priced to perform well today. Let's see if they can get their second win of the season in front of home support. That'd be fantastic. No win yet at home for Almeria. So that's what we're facing in the Championship at the moment. Just looking for matches of importance for us. Let's get rid of a few of these. It's half time, so there's going to be little important action until the second half's return. So Bristol City and Rotherham, job done. Cardiff and Middlesbrough, still a little bit to work with, but I think the season is petering out for these two. Although while it's still mathematically possible, we can check the amount of matches left. I think there's 3 or 4. We've got to know the amount of matches left. Paul is saying there's buffering at the moment. So I can only put that down. There, Stephen was spot on. Werder Bremen goal, a penalty. Thank you, Paul. Are you having buffering problems? I hope not. Try to click on this live section here. I do struggle with the internet now and again. It's out of my control. But I hope everything's okay. Thank you very much, Paul, for the update there. Hopefully, you can see. Once you click this live button here, hopefully it will take you directly. Thank you very much, Paul, for the update. I hope things will improve. I'm using my telephone's personal hotspot. Oh no, I'm using Club Royal's Wi-Fi. So I'll just get rid of my personal hotspot because it eats up a lot of battery life. Okay, thank you very much, Paul. But I hope things are, yeah, it seems to be only about a matter of a few seconds behind at the moment. But hopefully things will remain stable enough for us to have an attack second half of some of these matches. Southampton, possibilities here. 1.73 pre-match, but they have been very sloppy of late, Saints. That's why they're heading off to promotion.
This market has been suspended.
Playoff places. Watford and Sunderland, as I say, very little. English League 2, we're already got that one sewn up as far as what we need to do. English National League, we're not going to be playing any of these lower tiers. So thank you, Paul, about the buffering. I hope it will clear itself. So we'll get rid of some of this lot. Have a look at the Premier League. We haven't really investigated that yet. Got the equaliser for Newcastle. The only real angle you could have had was the half-time market, wasn't it? 1.6. Pre-match, 1.6, a goal down. What are you going to do with that? Wolves and Luton. Still possibilities for Luton. They have had a record for both teams to score. Man United and Burnley. A good defensive display from Burnley, you'd argue here. This could be a possible lay the draw second half. Fulham and Palace, London derby. Suddenly, that quite outstanding run of 3 consecutive wins for Palace, soaring shed loads, is being curtailed a little bit by Fulham. 1 shot on 3 off and 2 corners, 69 attacking pressure index. Could be interesting second half. I wonder if under new manager, scored 2 goals second half against Newcastle. Did the vast majority of their work against West Ham in the first half. But the new manager is really getting a tune out of this side. Newcastle and Sheffield United, possible lay the draw second half as well.
This market has been suspended.
Suspended market for one of our matches of interest, so we'll keep an eye on that. Get rid of the lower tiers. Mikolova Sports. Any of you Mikolova Sports fans out there? And Maritimo confirmed a 3-2 win. Those of you who stayed in, you're cleaning up, basically. Another 100 plus profit if you stayed in. This is why I call it options at exit. It's up to you completely. Your personality, the kind of session you're having. If you're having a profitable session, you might want to take a punt on a big potential profit while negating your liability. So well done if you did stay in. Kahunas of steel is all I can say. Maccabi Tel Aviv, job done at half time. I don't think there's any real need to continue with that one. This is interesting. Hapoel Jerusalem, based on the in-play stats only. Pre-match odds, 2.45 the favourite is the concern. But looking at in-play stats, possibility for an equaliser there. And this could be a good chance to show you how to have a play without it costing you too much money. Hapoel Jerusalem. Against Hapoel Eran Hadera. So half-time market would be the best angle in here. It's 2.45 the favourite. That's why you're getting low odds. And we've got a Wrexham equaliser against Stockport. Is that important? Certainly the Huddersfield equaliser against Birmingham is important.
Goal.
So you've got this option.
Huddersfield Birmingham is 1-1.
This is not an option. Lacking liquidity. So I think, again, risk reward. Keep your liability low and see if you can nab a Hapoel Jerusalem equaliser with 8 minutes plus extra time to go. at half time. It's very illiquid, so keep your liability low. Just see if we can nab a little profit. So that's the kind of thing I would do. Just based on in-play stats, this. Way up the amount of time left. Yes, it's all about shots off target. Far too many of them compared to shots on target. And it's a 2.45 the favourite, so you don't want to commit wholly. By wholly, I mean lay over 1.5 goals, match odds, back Hapoel Jerusalem, lay Hapoel Eren Hedera. But 2.4 the favourite suggests it's a tough match to unpack. Poor old Luton, 2-0 down and likely down. 4 shots on target. Both teams do tend to score. So that's a
This
potential.
market has been suspended.
Suspended market. Is that a Hapoel Jerusalem goal, or is it a goal in one of our other matches of interest?
Wolverhampton Luton is 2-0.
Okay, that's 2-0. That's not one of our matches of interest. Blau-Weiß Linz have an opening goal against Wolfsberger. They are newly promoted, so they might be vulnerable.
Sheffield West Brom is 2-0.
We can get rid of that, I think. Again, 2.55 the favourite. I keep talking to you about these kind of odds. They do act as a good distractor for you to not get involved in those types of matches. Got to be ever so careful. Let's go back to the Championship. As a Larty red card has probably confirmed the win for KUPS in the Finnish Veikkausliiga. It's important for you to familiarise yourself with Finland. It's one of our summer leagues, along with tennis, that keep you interested in trading over the summer months. Although the off-season is getting increasingly narrower, isn't it? Good stuff from Middlesbrough at the moment. Watford and Sunderland, not much of interest there. Norwich, job done. Crawley, we know all about them, doing a good job. I think we can get rid of the in-play stats. We're interested. We're not going to be playing with in-play stats in English League 2. We're playing the need for points. So let's retain our discipline. We're going to investigate any goal that comes in English League 2 and see whether it's in our short list of matches. That's the best way to play. Likely KUPS, job done. So I can get rid of that. We've got some Serie B as well. I checked, it's not the end of the season yet in the Italian Serie B. But old Perry Como, 5 shots on, 6 off and 4 corners might be of interest. Second in the league. Accrington and Tranmere. Is that on our list?
Goal. SC Freiburg Wolfsburg is 1-1.
Accrington and Tranmere. Let's have a look. It's not on our list, so we're not going to be interested in that League 2 match.
Goal. Fulham Crystal Palace is 1-0.
There we go. Now, do you trust that new manager for Crystal Palace? This is what I keep saying. Derby matches, you can get unexpected results. You'd have thought coming into this, a side who can beat Liverpool and Newcastle 2-0 and score 5 against another London
This
side.
market has been suspended.
Are going to be the favourite today. But no, this is a London derby. Anything can happen. But this could be a potential angle in if you fancy the new manager to keep pulling it out the fire for this Crystal Palace side. So that could be an angle in. I think I've shown you amply that playing derby matches can be very tough to read. So it's a possible angle. I must say I do like Crystal Palace under this new manager. They've got Easy and the rest of the crew really performing and scoring absolute shed loads. So it could be one that you enter under the term speculative if you wanted to play, I think. Norwegian First Division, probably too young in the season for us to have an interest. So with that in mind, let's wait until the elite leagues are over before tackling the Norwegian First Division. We've got Bodo Glimt playing Rosenborg a bit later on in the top flight. That's Accrington 3, Tranmere 1, but it's not on our list of must-wins at the end of English League 2. Let's just go through that soon. Rio Ave and Vizela, no strong opinion. The old Chavs are playing. Got a draw in the last match. 5 consecutive draws for Liexos. I would be eyeing that as a late later draw. And indeed, they're keen on it today, as you can see. 4 shots on, 4 shots off, 3 corners. MK Dons have scored in what is a dead rubber for them. 2-1 lead. But they've got absolutely nothing to play for. So we can ignore that in English League 2. So let's just get rid of some of this. Scottish Championship, I'm afraid we can't play, just the liquidity issues. It's all right getting on, but cashing out is the problem. And there's just no market forces. There's no, there's nothing pressurising the odds to move. And you've got £2 pretty much throughout. It's a pity because it's a decent enough set of leagues.
This market has been suspended.
They'll be familiar to a few members as well. Aberdeen and Millwall. Don't have a strong opinion there. Get rid of Serbia, and then we can go back and check out our English League 2s. Because what we're after is that time pressure, creating pressure for these teams to get the result that they need. Almeria Getafe, well done Almeria getting that equaliser in front of home support. They are down, but the home support wants something to play with. Burgos and Morebieta. Well, I'll keep an eye. 20th in the league. You know as well as I do now. You can't discount 20th in the league. Newcastle get the goal if you did lay the draw second half. I gave it just a tentative shout.
Goal. Newcastle Chef UTD is 2-1.
So let's get rid of a few of these and start again. It's 3-0 to Middlesbrough, really going for it today. So we'll get to English League 2 as we're heading towards the hour mark. So we'll break off, go off to the live standings and see how our selection of teams are doing. So if I can keep this, I want to keep double screen. So we can check Wimbledon and Walsall. Let's have a look. Wimbledon 10th on 65 points, won't be going anywhere. Walsall 11th on 65 points. It's one of our weaker selections, isn't it, for the matches left. Motherwell red card against Aberdeen's 57th minute. So do check out the Aberdeen in-play stats in reaction to that. See whether we can get Aberdeen to conjure up a winner from that Motherwell red
This
card.
market has been suspended.
Barrow and Mansfield. Old Jane didn't need to win. Already up. Barrow must get a result. This would have been one to get that 0-1 on late on. But Barrow, possible equaliser here to turn that 68 into 69. And a win into 70. So that is definitely a lay the draw late on. Get my thinking? 69 points now. Look how it changes in front of your eyes. It's a really superb feature. And it's 2-2 Norwich and Swans. That might be of interest to us. Bradford are making it 3-0. I think we can dispense with this. Newport are safe anyway, but Bradford had to win in the hope that Crawley didn't win. So they're doing their bit, Bradford, but it's the old heartache of doing the job but not getting the result if that turns into 3-0. So I think this is a match over really for Bradford. Newport got nothing to play for, have they? 18th. So I think I'll dispense with the Bradford match And this is what we do at the end of the season. We whittle it down. Then we get these pressure matches. And like we did English League One, try to exploit that. We got 2 out of 3 in the last one. But the third one was not a lay the draw. Once the other results went Cambridge's way, they didn't need to get a result against Port Vale, I think it was earlier on. So we're whittling
This
it down.
market has been
We've got a red card for
suspended.
Donny. Do Gillingham need anything? Do Gillingham need anything? Let's have a look. Well, mid-table mediocrity for Gillingham.
Goal. Augsburg Werder Bremen is 0-3.
There we go. Well, we didn't get the recovery from Augsburg, but it's only cost you £6 to find out. Really good result for Werder Bremen today. Talk about the carrot and the stick.
Goal. SC Freiburg Wolfsburg is 1-2.
Talk about the carrot and the stick, for Werder Bremen. Wow. Gillingham and Donny, I think, is match over. Doncaster, you take 3 points away. They'll still be on 70 points if their opponents.
Goal. Burgo Zammerbiata is 2-0.
And they've got a goal back. So that must be a penalty, I think, in reaction to the red card. That must be a penalty. Crawley and Grimsby. Job done at 2-0. Grimsby are safe this season. So I don't think that's going to be of importance to us. Grimsby, we've got nothing to play for. Crawley have got that playoff place to play for. Colchester and Crewe. Well, Crewe are just hanging on barely. If Barrow can turn this 1-1 into a win. So that's a lay the draw late on, isn't it? Barrow turn this late one into a win. And Crewe are in all sorts of bother, particularly with a positive goal difference for Barrow. So I think this Crewe match, Crewe might need to get a result here against Colchester. Colchester, where are they? They've got nothing to play for. So that's got a potential lay of Colchester at some point. We've got an Aberdeen goal against the red card. We've got a red card for Coventry against Blackburn. That could signal the lay the draw. This is Coventry's, I think, the emotional impact of those FA Cup extra times, etc., is catching up with Coventry. Red carded 0-0 against Blackburn, who were dominating. Barrow and Mansfield. Barrow need to turn this into a draw. So we're getting some pressurised matches now, aren't we? Barrow must win. Crewe must get a result in order to keep everything on their side. Crawley against Grimsby. Crawley must retain that 2-0. Gillingham and Donny. Gillingham nothing to play for. A win for Gillingham takes them to 66. Donny just hoping to retain that 3-point gap they've got over 6th and 7th. And the 4-point gap they've got over 8th and 9th. If this becomes 2-2, that might be more interesting. I wouldn't still discount Doncaster. So that's how I look at trying to uncover plays for the last match of the season. And what have I done again? I've just got rid of Google. Hopefully it will come back. Oh, man. Apologies. So let's get the ones of interest. So we've got a fair idea now of what's required. We've got to keep an eye on the Blackburn match. I think that draw might be vulnerable with that Coventry goal. Just excuse me a sec. I'll just grab a drink of water. My throat's beginning to get a bit Bonnie Tyler on me. I'll be about 30 seconds or so. Okay, back. And Newcastle have made it 3-1, and Getafe are leading. And MK Dons again. So let's get rid of some of these matches we've got on the watch list that we don't necessarily need to follow. Certainly Blackburn and Coventry, I'll have that up for a possible lay the draw. So let's just have a look at that one. I suppose motivation might be an important element at this stage of the season. So let's just make sure that there is something for Blackburn to play for.
This market has been suspended.
So let's have a look at the Blackburn match in the English Championship. Got to make sure there's motivation. That take advantage of that red card. And Gillingham have made it 2-2 against Donny. That makes things interesting. Wow. So let's just have a quick check the live standings here for Blackburn and Coventry. Oh, Blackburn going to have to call up Sutton and Shearer to get them out of jail. So we're looking at the standings. So it's taking a little while. But the Gillingham-Doncaster match, certainly that's got lay the draw targeted. Doncaster must really get a result to get themselves out of jail. Coventry, 64 points. They are currently drawing. Add another 2 to that. If they get the win, takes them to 66. And they are going to be 6 points shy of the promotion place. Blackburn, they are only 3 points above the relegation zone with that draw currently. Add another 2 to that, they're on to 52 points, and that gap is increasing. But Birmingham, I think, are playing Huddersfield today, aren't they? Relegation 6 pointers. So that's another draw to be looked at as a possible lay the draw. Keep an eye on Blackburn. Lay the draw at some point. Now try to flex your delay muscles. See how late you can lay the draw. Ditto in this must win. Huddersfield and Birmingham. We've also got the Doncaster. They've got the Doncaster match to look at now as well. English League 2. Newport have a goal back against Bradford. But let's intermittently look at these League 2 standings. Can we dig out a late lay the draw? Certainly we can with the Doncaster match, can't we? 3-2 to Sutton United in what is a dead rubber, pretty much. So let's have a look at this Doncaster match. So it's taking a while.
Goal. Newcastle Chef UTD is 4-1.
This is a little bit too close to 70, isn't it? They're safe at 71. You take a win for Barrow, who had 2 points to that. Goal difference, they might not be safe. Well, Crawley, that's the maximum Crawley can achieve is 70 points. So Doncaster are looking at these other sides. If they turn that into a win, they can dispose of either or these two. Turn this into a win, you add 2 points to that. That's up to 71. So that lay the draw for Donny might be something for us to focus on later on. Crawley and Grimsby, well, too good, I'm afraid. Barrow get the win. Let's have a look. And again, we just move this to the side, and then we can have a look at our matches in the Stars. 4-1 to Wimbledon, so I think we can get rid of that one now. So we're dwindling down our interest in English League 2. Barrow and Mansfield, must win really for Barrow. Could change their season. So that's certainly, you've got to lay that draw as late as you dare. Colchester and Crewe, well, we know a potential need for Crewe to get a result here. Just to put the destiny into their hands, rather than rely on other results. Colchester are safe as houses. Normally third bottom in other leagues. You're doomed. Crawley and Grimsby. Crawley are safe as houses at the moment. 2-goal head start. Well, we'll certainly get interested if this turns into a 2-1. The other one, Gillingham and Donny lay the draw at some point in Doncaster's favour. It's far too near to 70 points this to be of interest. And I suspect that
Goal.
Gillingham goal
Sheffield West Brom is 3-0.
was a penalty. Sheffield Wednesday really going for it as well. So let's do a catch up. Are you going to lay the draw? When are you going to lay the draw? Blackburn and Coventry, 19th against 18th. Against 8th. 6 shots on, 19 off and 6 corners. Can you trust 19th in the league? Only the 1 shot on target second half is pretty poor showing. Plenty of second half attacking pressure with shots off target. Corner count, none yet second half. So do remember when you're dealing with in-play stats, you've got to account for goal times. Kilmarnock and Hearts, well, I do like Hearts pretty much, but I don't have a very strong opinion here. We will see. We can get rid of Newcastle and Sheffield United. They're doomed. Millwall and Plymouth will be a late lay the draw. You've had a lot of second half goals in Millwall matches of late. 3 consecutive wins. Another one here today could really solve their problems. Let's have a quick look. MK Dons, we don't care really. They're already up. Let's have a look at Millwall. The importance of a win for Millwall and Plymouth in the live standings. So let's have a look. Bring the standings up for the Lions. Really good run of 3 consecutive wins. Can you imagine if they hadn't had those 3 wins? Been all sorts of bother. After losing to Huddersfield and Rotherham as well, to find themselves in 54 points. That's superb stuff. 7-point gap, all down to those 3 consecutive wins. Otherwise, they'd be in a relegation zone. What a recovery! Absolutely emphatic. So they're safe enough, I think, Millwall. But another 3 points. Zoom. You're nearly up to the top 10. Plymouth, though, plenty of work for them to do. So it is one of your archetypal relegation 6-pointers. Certainly a need for points for both of these 2 sides. So that's one to target a late lay the draw in if this remains 0-0 or 1-1 late on. Similarly, Huddersfield and Birmingham, 3 points, a definite benefit for both of these 2 sides as well. Wolves might be gettable. It might be a throwaway lay, given Luton's both teams to score pattern. Let's have a look. Not something you'd ordinarily do at this stage of the season. If it's 1.05 or lower, it's well worth a go. Luton Town have that both teams to score angle, don't they? Yeah, got to give it a go. Got nothing to lose. £3 to make 100. So give it a nice. There we go. Very small liability. If Luton Town can make it 2-1, then that's going to be very interesting indeed. 4 shots on, though, 1 off and 1 corner. It's been a dominant display for Wolverhampton Wanderers today. Sheffield Wednesday against West Brom. What a superb performance, 72 minutes in. Should seal the 3 points for them and an excellent afternoon's work. We have a look at the live stream. Forest Green have the goal against Notts County in a dead rubber in English League 2. Be nice to see Forest Green win, but they are already relegated. So let's have a look. Oh, it takes an age to load. I'll have forgotten which team I'm looking at. Which is the case. Another senior moment for me. I can't remember where I was looking. Huddersfield and Birmingham, was it? I can't remember. Best to do is to click on the teams. That way they're highlighted when you go to the standings. I think there's plenty of pressure on for these 2 to get a result. And that's the MK Dons making it 4-2, so that's a dead rubber. God.
Goal. Leigh Leganés Real Zaragoza is 1-0.
Okay, so yeah, 3 points. Well, add 2 points to this current draw, and you can tell that's another lay the draw for us to focus on. That's for sure. Millwall and Plymouth will be a lay the draw for us to focus on as well. Swansea and Norwich, indeed. That's getting intriguing. At 2-2. Let's have a look. So again, we're heading off to the standings. Norwich and Swansea. Oh, can you load a little quicker? So Norwich are currently in that promotion playoff place. Swansea, season over, I would suggest. 10 points above the relegation zone with 3 or 4 matches remaining. Safest house, but Norwich have still got plenty to play for. Well, all I've really got to play for is retaining those 4 important playoff places. One of those 4. Hull are yet to play. Hull get a win, and they're up to 72. So it's crucial Norwich maintain this draw, or even better, turn that into an extra 2 points, make it 75. So that could be a lay the draw late on as well. This is just a unique system to this part of the season, trying to target these matches. And let's have a look at the in-play stats for Southampton as well. They haven't turned up again for another week. What a poor end to their season. Southampton, 2 shots on, 7 off and 5 corners. Again, playing another.
Almeria Getafe is 1-3.
Oh, 1-3 for Getafe. So I think we get rid of that for Almeria now. Not today for your second win of the season. Nothing really shown from Saints at all to suggest an equaliser. No shots on target second half. A smattering of shots off target, and that's it. This is what their season has been like, particularly the last couple of matches. Dropping 6 points and promotion playoff, best case for them. Man U and Burnley, wow. Still no goals for Man United after scoring 4 against Sheffield United. This is typical of their season. It's been awful. Unreadable. Very tight match. 5 shots on target, 9 shots off target for both, but a few more for Man United. 5 corners for both, but 1 corner extra for Man United. Very, very tight match. Again, late draw. But I want to keep the draw to 1.25 odds and lower. Fulham and Crystal Palace. Well, you'd have looked at the possibility of a Crystal Palace equaliser, wouldn't you? Based on their excellent recent run. But it is a London derby. And again, it's very, very tight stats, suggesting a very tough to call match. Como, Alperi. We're heading to the 58th minute. Possibility of laying the draw there. Como and Sampdoria, second in the league as well. So plenty of motivation for Perry. Sampdoria continue their woeful run of bad luck. X of Italian Serie A. Now they're 8th in the Italian Serie B. Likely to stay up. Andrea Pirlo. That's a familiar name. As the manager of Samp. What a wonderful player. Sampdoria and Como might be a lay the draw if you can trust these two. So let's have a quick look. Sampdoria, or Sampodira, as they're known to some of their fans. The draw is currently at 2.12, so it's getting low enough. You've got a number of options when you lay the draw. Option number 1, delay. The longer you delay, the lower the draw odds, the lower your liability. Option number 2, have a predetermined stake and get involved. Option number 3, stay till the death or get out at a predetermined loss. Predetermined loss for me would be, well, I've done this wrong, it should be liability. So predetermined loss would be 1/3 of liability. So I'd have to do a bit of maths here. So 3 into 44. 3 into 4 goes 1. Carry over the 1. So 3 into 14, that goes 4 times. That's with a remainder of 2. So 3 into 20 goes about 7 or So £14.70 or thereabouts would be a third of liability as loss.
This market has been suspended.
We check that out with a calculator. 44 divided by 3.
Goal.
There we go.
Wolverhampton Luton
£14.70.
is 2-1.
£14.70. So if this red hits £14.70, that could be your first cash out. Why do I choose that? It's a third of liability. You're getting 2/3 of your liability back in your bank. Hapoel Jerusalem equalise it if you played.
UTD Burnley is 1-0.
And that could have been a lay the draw Man United as Burnley, as I mentioned, but I didn't take action. I hope you did. Did we play Hapoel Jerusalem? Because I did give that a mention. Or Jerusalem. Did I play? Pity if I didn't, because I gave it a nice mention. No, I didn't. And Luton have a goal back. Nice work. Let's have a look. Both teams to score is a very strong angle for Luton Town this season. Now, checking this out. Don't forget, your profit is relative to the amount you've risked. So that's a decent return, isn't it? £2.70 risked for a possible £7 profit. So again,
This market has been suspended.
oh, don't say that's VAR, please. Not looking like VAR. So that's a nice. It's all relative to the amount of risk. Again, if that's a £27 liability, that's a £92 profit. It's not too shabby, is it? But of course, we're looking at these two figures more so.
Goal. Hapoel Jerusalem FC Hapoel Hadera is 1-1.
That's one I gave you a nice mention of. So I'm not sure if I passed on the Wolves one. I'm just going to check the last message I sent.
Augsburg v Werder Bremen is 0-2. The second Werder Bremen goal was a penalty,
that's
which have me intrigued here. I've laid Werder Bremen at 1.12. Small back of Augsburg at 44 as well.
No, okay.
Let's see if Augsburg turn up like the one.
No. So I didn't mention the Wolves. You got it here in the live stream. So we've got our first possible cash out if you wanted to take the money. And that's even nicer, isn't it? 11 quid.
Millwall Plymouth is 1-0.
Add that to your 58 earlier on.
Hapoel Jerusalem FC Hapoel Hadera is 2-1.
So risk the reward relative to the amount you risk. So that's another lesson to you. The more you risk, the greater your potential reward. So let's catch up. We've got West Brom suddenly on 123 attacking pressure index. Surely they can't pull it off. So we're getting deep. Let's catch up with some of our other peripheral matches. Hopefully I haven't turned off Football 24. So Bristol City and Rotherham, well, job done there. Get rid of that. Well done to Middlesbrough, job done there. Norwich and Sunderland will be a late lay the draw. You've got a number of techniques there as well. You could drip lay. Just try and I need to dismantle this thing. I don't know how to get rid of it. It's just becoming a real pain. This Harper AI thing. Austria Lustenau. Well, I'll stick it on the watch list. And there's a Hapoel Hadera making it 2-1. So if you did play that one, well done. Based purely on the in-play stats. We did play, didn't we? We played the first half goal market, didn't we, in that Hapoel Jerusalem match? Right, get rid of Watford and Sunderland, I think. Ulu and VPS probably too early in the season. And they're not one of the big boys. So we're coming to the end of the matches. So we're going to be fixating on the teams with needs to win. Coming to the 45th minute again, taking advantage of the pressure of a lack of time. So let's have a look at these matches, particularly in English League 2.
This market has been suspended.
Start trying to pick them off. So English League 2. It's only our starred matches. So Barrow and Mansfield. What you can do, you can get them already set up. So here, you can hope for that 2-2 for Luton, or you can take that £11 green, which relative to the amount staked was pretty decent. So let's catch up and see if we can exploit some of these late plays. Barrow must win.
Goal. Sampdoria Como is 1-0.
And there's a Sampdoria Como goal. If you laid the draw there, and guess who it's gone to? Andrea Pirlo's boys. So if you're looking purely, I'm going to have to break here. If you're looking purely at the in-play stats, Como deserved to get something here. So this might be a potential play, although the insurance is far too high. Oh, we laid the draw, didn't we? Oh, that's great. If you lay the draw, it's a neutral play, isn't it? And yet again, it's a great example to you of neutral play. We favoured Como logically because of the in-play stats, but they just didn't turn up. That's another. And I would take the green straight away personally. Very nice indeed. I will take that. So if Football 24 is not working at the moment, which is irritating, I need the goals to come in. So that's a nice green. Let's make sure it's guaranteed, because you need to get rid of this. Don't forget Como with a better side. So I've got to get rid of this somehow. There we go. Job done. So that's a nice simple lay the draw here. Let's have a look at these matches coming to an end in English League 2. Barrow, Mansfield. So let's get that match up. Barrow must get something. So we'll have that one starred. What next? Colchester and Crewe. Ideally, Crewe need to get a result, so Colchester might be layable. So we'll have that one up and ready. 1.24, they might even be layable now, this Colchester side. Drip laying. So we'll change that to 5. Start drip laying at odds of 1.24 or lower. This is my preferred method. Sometimes
Goal.
you don't get your full
Fulham
rewards.
Crystal Palace is 1-1.
Yes, we've got the Crystal Palace equaliser. If you played that, with their recent record, 1.14, they're likely to go on and win now, because they've been scoring 2+ goals under this new manager. That'd be £11, laying at 109. Ah, fun for Eric Den Haag, Football Manager of the Year. 1-1. Man United and Burnley. 1-1. That could be a late lay the draw as well. So laying the draw in that one. Drip laying it's called. 1.25 and lower. We capture it if there's a goal very, very late, as could be the last match of the season. Gillingham and Donny. Let's head on over there. I think Doncaster would like to see a win, because it's not, destiny is not in their hands yet. And again, if you can keep this liability low, you'll know your maximum outlay. 1.44, so it's a little bit late, but you can still start if you wanted at 1.25. Just click the nums lock. Okay. Right, it's not playing. 1.25 to win a fiver. Move that down. 1.19 to win a fiver. Move that down to 1.14 to win a fiver. 1.09 to win 11 quid. The later the goal, the more money we will make. 1.06 to win £16.
Goal.
Why? 'Cause
Man
it's under a quid.
UTD Burnley is 1-1.
Yeah, another wonderful display from Den Haag, football manager of the decade. So Gillingham and Burnley, Crawley and Grimsby, job done. Grimsby can't catch.
Goal. Virgo Zammerby attack is 2-1.
And we've done Barrow and Mansfield, I hope, as one of our plays. So this is how I will attack end of season matches. Ideally, just wait to the death because of the time pressure. The objective here for Barrow to get a result. Mansfield got nothing to play for. Apart from, well, no, nothing to play for. 1.25. 1.19 to win £5. 1.14 to win £5. 1.09 to win £11. 1.06 to win 16. So any late action we will capture, as we got 2 out of 3 in the English League One. So those are our must-wins. How about in the Championship? Well, there's still a few matches to be played in the Championship, which is looks to be getting there. Blackburn and Coventry. I'm glad I didn't lay the draw on the Blackburn Coventry match just yet. This is a problem with sides at Blackpool's position in the league. Can you trust them? They're obviously where they are. And again, we can practice. Start with the first amount you see, under 1.25. Next one, 1.19. 1.14. 1.09 to win 11. And again, 1.06 to win 16. So hopefully we're going to see some late goals. We certainly know that we're with the teams who need to win. So fingers crossed we can see some late goal action in the Championship and in League Two, especially with everything to play for there. As you can see, this is the time period where you want to get involved. You want to get involved here now. Late possible action. Must wins. Sort your season out right at the death. So we get rid of some of these now. I'm not going to really play Kill Your Hearts. It wasn't top of my list, but I do like Hearts. They are a side to follow, or have been this season. Millwall get the goal. That's one of us ones we missed. Did you lay the late draw there? I couldn't cover all of these.
Goal. Virgo Zammerby attack is 2-2.
So if you played Millwall, well done. 17th against 20th, relegation 6-pointer, as is Huddersfield against Birmingham, which I didn't get to. I didn't get to Millwall, alas, because I was fixated on English League Two. But they're more must-wins when it's the last match of the season, of course. So again, 1.2. Liability, maximum liability, about £4. So we're at 1.14 next. 1.09 next to win 11. And then 1.06 to win 16. We're just seeing if we can capture a late goal. Huddersfield have the goal back. Relegation 6-pointer. Look at the league positions. You've got to take points off your nearest rival. Simple as that.
This market has been suspended.
Hopefully these suspensions suggest the possibility of goals. Norwich and the Swans as well. I'd wait a little bit later. It's still a little early. Well done to Sheffield Wednesday. Southampton, poor stuff from them. Only 2 shots on target. Millwall
This
should have been on
market has
our
been
roster.
suspended.
Southampton, only 2 shots on target, so I won't be playing them. Manu and Burnley, possibility of laying the late draw. See what they did against Sheffield United. And we've got a late goal for Crewe Alexandra against Colchester. Let's catch that. I'm sure we did that lay of Colchester, didn't we? Good stuff. This is what we're after. I'm sure we did that late. Yes, we did. So that's the first one in the bag. And alas, it hasn't captured all of our possibles, has it? There's 2 of them still waiting. But that's, again, as a percentage of £100.
This market has been suspended.
Look at that. Look at that, £13 another way. That's given you 3 free punts at laying the late draw in these other few matches. Because your liability is about £4 in total. So that's given you three free punts. Try to say that after a couple of beer changs. So well done. Now let's have a look at how that has impacted upon English League 2. That goal from Crewe Alexandra. Got a goal from Bradford. Sutton making it 4-4. But those are by the by. Well done to Sutton United. Excellent stuff at the end of the season. But it's all much of a muchness, though, for them. So let's have a look at
this
that.
This market has been suspended.
The importance of that 1-1 for Colchester and Crewe. It's just giving Crewe that 71-point barrier now. 71. That single point could save their bacon. And their opponents got nothing to play for. So this is the kind of thing we want to dig out at the end of the season. That Colchester Crewe kind of a vibe. Wolves and Luton would have been a profit. You could have made that £11 again. 11% of 100. Stick it in the old bank, and it soon adds up, particularly with that £58 you'd have made earlier on Maritimo. So you'll be well on your way. And again, if you're making that £11, that's almost 3 free punts at laying these late draws if your maximum liability is £4. So think of that, those green screens in that kind of setting, and that £11 looks useful rather than unspectacular profit. 20 shots off target. Let's be having you. 6 shots on. Last one, 72nd minute. Man United and Burnley looks a natural lay the draw, doesn't it, given the performance? Well, we've profited twice from late matches, so I'll pass that one on. Man United v Burnley, given the reputation or the profit we'd be making from Man United late goals, lay the late draw as late as you dare and as at low odds as you dare as well. I can't really provide a proper service on Telegram for these end of seasons. We really need to be there to see the thought processes as well. Southampton ends 0-1. What a poor end to the season for the Saints. They will not be happy with that one at all. Looks like Norwich are going to end penniless. Man U, well worth doing for a late lay the draw, given the result we got in the FA Cup and the Sheffield United result we got as well. So let's have a quick look at this. Yeah, it's already done. Okay. Ended 1-1. Poor stuff. That could signal Den Haag's
This market has been suspended.
absence. We could have got a result in the Palace match, couldn't we, really, if we trusted that recent run of 3 consecutive wins for Crystal Palace. We could have laid that Fulham draw with an insurance play, of course, on the 1-0. But it is a derby-style match. That's where you're not getting the kind of form you would have expected after 3 consecutive emphatic wins as well. Right, let's catch up as the 3:45s come to an end. So we're just waiting for, like the Colchester Crewe match, all we're looking for is just 1 or 2 of these to come in, and at least you're going to try to aim for a profit, but at least you're going to be covering your liabilities on the others if one of them comes in. We've got some tricky matches this evening. Juventus in a derby-style match. I don't like playing those, as you've been amply advertised.
This market has been suspended.
Derby-style matches are very tough to read. Bodo Glimt, though, excellent team to follow. The Chavs getting an equaliser, but they've conceded again to Casapia. So the 3 o'clocks are coming to an end. Poor old Almeria. And it ends 2-2 Gillingham and Donny, but well worth laying that draw. And let's just see, as the matches come to an end in English League Two, how things are looking. I think it's business concluded. So just that Colchester goal would have covered your liabilities on the other plays.
This market has been
Play the
suspended.
draws. So you'd have got out there unscathed. But this is a really good technique to use at the end of the season. So we've currently got MK Dons as safe as houses. Wimbledon nothing to play for. Walsall ditto.
Goal. Sampdoria Como is 1-1.
So it's season concluded now. Sutton and Forest Green are down. It was all about the playoff places, wasn't it? Crawley very lucky to survive. Barrow needed to win to go into the playoffs. So you had to lay the draw, quite simply. I know it's Mansfield they're playing, and Mansfield are already up. They're obviously the better side, but that had to be taken, didn't it? It's those kind of matches you need to focus on. Even though they might not come in, you've got to lay that draw late on. Just got to. Needs must. And even if they don't get the win, they might be so exposed in looking for the goal that their opponent nicked the win. Como deserved that, but I did get out at the draw. Thoroughly deserved from old Perry, that equaliser. Had we been a little sharper, we could have laid Samp's lead. So we're coming to an end of the 3 o'clocks. We're at that stage of the season now where we're going to be attacking last days of the season. So you've had a good look at 2 leagues today, how we prepare for them and how we react in play, how we whittle down the matches to get rid of dead rubbers and make sure we're focusing solely on these kind of matches with must-wins, or 3 points will be hugely beneficial rather than being must-wins. So I'll say goodbye to you at 5 o'clock. And I'll be, as these seasons come to an end, I'll be preparing the tennis stuff, which I'll upload for you at footballtradingprofits.com. Hopefully you'll find it useful. Juve and AC Milan, very tough match to unpack that one. These all are coming to an end. Although good stuff from Palermo late on, but just 2 shots on target is slightly off-putting. A 0-2 lead against a 1.7 shot. That could be interesting. 3rd against 18th. And again, it's one of those, isn't it? At this stage of the season, you can't discount Rook Chuksor in 18th place. You just can't. They're picking up points, these strugglers, far too often. So I'll get rid of a few of these. And we'll have a look at what's upcoming a bit later on, although...
Goal. Lexosby Laverdens is 1-2.
Okay, that's the Exos. So let's have a look at what's coming up. So there's a lot of peripheral stuff now. Fenerbahce favourite against Besiktas, but that's another derby-style match. So what have we got coming up with our odds-on favourites at least? Go to the My Games facility here. Everton and Brentford. Well, it's the job done for Everton this season. It's in what is a dead rubber. So let's go to all matches, I think would be far better. So that's going to be a very tough match to unpack, Everton and Brentford. Of course, Everton will confirm safety with a win today. Even a draw will do it. Aston Villa and Chelsea, another tough match. Chelsea have been in pretty fine form. I don't know why the fans are going all pear-shaped about it. On the surface, it's pretty decent form for Chelsea. You take away the odd Arsenal defeat, and they have been competitive. Bayer Leverkusen, title winners already. Stuttgart, possible Champions League hope. That's the only motivator there. Leverkusen got a very late draw against Dortmund last match. Lazio Verona will be favouring the home side. Juve AC Milan, good to watch, but not necessarily to trade. Derby style match. Alaves Celta Vigo, 2.63 the favourite. Don't fancy that one at all. Atletico Madrid and Bilbao. Atletico Madrid's home form has been excellent. This is a Champions League playoff place 6-pointer, I believe. Again, not much going on. So I will keep an eye on one or two for you. But as is tended to happen in recent weekends, it tends to be a little quiet for the evening sessions from 5 o'clock onwards. It's just the quality of football dissipates, and the plays that we do have are kind of like 2.6 the favourite matches. So that's what we've got to look forward to. From an odds-on perspective, we've already got a Dinamo Zagreb lead. No odds-ons left in the Premier League. Just Lazio, Leverkusen. Elche just drifting a little bit now. They were evens earlier on, weren't they? Vaduz 1.53. I'll keep an eye on that one. Fenerbahce. Swarovski Tirol in the relegation group. Odds on at home. Ghent. Again, the Conference League group. So the seasons are pretty much ending, but they're splitting into Championship and relegation groups. So that's it at the moment. Super League beginning at 6 o'clock in Greece. Bodo Glimt should be favoured today against Rosenborg, and what will be one of their tougher clashes today. Benfica and Braga, a derby-style match, this one at 6 o'clock as well. So thanks very much for coming along, and thanks very much for all of your input as well. So I will be seeing you on Telegram for a bit longer. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another live stream. And I hope you've got a good idea of how we attack the end of season matches. It can be very exciting. Have a great day.